Hello, everyone. Hello, amazing people. How are you doing? Hi. Well, hi. This is Aemy Wong's Body Station. Right. I came up with this idea because I am blessed to be surrounded by amazing friends. They are very inspiring and successful entrepreneurs, and that's why I want to share my blessing with you. Wow. You will be able to see that why are they so successful. Find out what these people have in common. They are successful not simply because what they do, but how they think and do things differently. As a saying goes, winners don't have to do different things, but do things differently. So let us hear from Steve Wee, the founder of Brand Yourself Agency and High Flyer Asia, in a short while. Well, before I bring him up, and also would like to let you know at the end of this video, Steve and I will answer your questions. So please keep your questions in. Especially some of you are very curious about life as flight attendant. Any of you that are curious about life as flight attendant? Well, you may post your questions here. And also, Steve told me that he will be giving away presents, all right, giving away valuable presents to some of you. So please stay tuned. Hi, hello everyone. Yeah, there are comments coming in already. Hello, hi Annie. Hi Rebecca, Samantha, hello, how are you? And I see Christian also saying hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Good, very good. All right. So, and where was I? Yeah. At this moment, in line of COVID-19, there are people going through a lot of things. There are people going through something in their businesses. Some people are losing their jobs. The businesses are on the rocks. And some of you may even standing at a cross path. So what people need now is inspiration, encouragement, motivation, and positive energy. So that is why, please, audience, please share this video with them. Share this video, click like, and share this video. Share to people that you love. Share to people that needs inspiration, that needs motivation and positive energy. Thank you so much. Hello, hi, Wei Ying. Oh, Elaine is here on, yeah, live with us. All right. Okay, so what is this Aemy Buddy Stations all about? Well, this program, yeah, hi. Hello, there are a lot of friends online now. All right, the objective of this program, let me show you. There are 3 objectives of this program. Number 1, right? This Body Station is to help you to get inspired and seek transformations. I'll constantly invite role models around me to deliver inspirations so that you may identify the values and attitude they have. Pick that up, as it's definitely crucial in your personal development and also your business development. Well, number 2, it is to help you to discover your hidden potential and challenge your limits so that you can be the leader that your community needs and that you can serve as many people to transform just like you. Number 3, Aemy Wong's Body Station is to help us to encourage entrepreneurship. As what Robert Kiyosaki says, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, that I read in year 2000. I remember he says, the poor and the middle class work for money, but the rich have money work for them. It simply means most people work for residual income, which means work stops, your income stops. But only the rich create and have passive income, which means passive income means when your work stops, your income doesn't stop coming in. Well, this is a very powerful statement. So when I read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in year 2000, I was still a naive, sweet young thing, still am. I was still flying then. I didn't quite understand what that mean. The only thing I knew was I had to stop working for others and start working for myself. Now, for those who knows Aemy Wong, I'm a former flight attendant with Singapore Airlines for 12 years. And 12 years ago, in 2008, I took a leap and left my job in Singapore Airlines, a job that I loved so much. Well, sometimes I feel that I was just born to fly. Right, 12 years ago, I came back to KL, Malaysia, and started a network marketing business, working with Nirvana Asia. Anyone who knows Nirvana Asia? Well, Nirvana Asia is Asia's #1 and the biggest integrated bereavement care provider. My job scope is to get business partners to join my team, and together we work to educate public to pre-plan for their funeral way ahead, like insurance and will writing. You know, as our market is a Chinese market, and people will tell us, "Choi, that I see." You know, it was still very much a taboo 12 years ago. And when I started with zero network. Didn't know what business was all about, no sales experience, let alone selling funeral products to people. Well, fast forward 12 years later, from zero network to having my championship team, now has more than 240 people and still growing. And we have served more than 4,500 families in Malaysia. Or I would say specifically in Klang Valley in KL alone, already 4,500 families. And more youngsters in their 20s come to join us. Many people would ask, how do you do that, Aemy? Well, to make my long story short, the key word is personal development. So that's the reason why I entered into personal development trainings. Not only I lead my team based on personal development, but also giving coaching and trainings, and also one-to-one coaching sessions to pass on my learnings that my life mentor passed to me. Well, today, the spotlight is not about me. There is one person can truly relate my exciting roller coaster journey, all right? And he is none other than, I have mentioned just now, the also a former flight attendant. Okay, let me bring him up first, all right, and say hello to everyone. Okay, he is none other than Steve Wee, the founder of Brand Yourself Agency and also High Flyer Asia. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Aemy. Wow, the way you introduced me, see my eye bag also got come out already. Shoulder very heavy. Okay, so for you guys in the house, so are you in the house? Can you just say hi, Steve, please, so that I know that you're in the audience? Just say hi, Steve, so that give me a bit of semangat to do this interview with Aemy Wong here. All right. Thanks for inviting Aemy. Yeah.
You're most welcome. Okay. Well, you are somebody that I always want to invite. You know what? Because as a former flight attendant, you know, your transformation is really incredible. So incredible that you are so good in what you're doing now. All right. You know what? What I would address you as? I would address you as the prince of networking and also branding. Be it personal branding, corporate branding, whatever branding, you name it. And Steve is the cream of the crop. All right, and
Wow.
he's really the best in what he's doing. So yeah, stay tuned and listen to what Steve has to share. Right, Steve, remember when did we meet and how we met? Can you still remember?
I think it was in one of the personal development trainer, I think, in Singapore. right? And I feel that for guys, usually if you are ex-flight attendant, you can't really tell whether the guy is a ex-crew or not. For the ladies, you kind of always know that this lady or this girl is an ex-crew is because they somehow have that kind of aura in them, the makeup, the hair. Somehow they have that. I cannot go away from them if they have fly more than 5 years. So I met Amy in that event. I was like, oh, this girl must be ex-crew. But of course, I never speak to her. But eventually, after almost towards the end of the course, I kind of go up and talk to her a little bit, and that's where we get connected.
Right. Interestingly, we didn't meet in the airline at all. I flew for 12 years, and you flew for
8.5 years.
You flew for 8.5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And let's see. Oh, so this was you. You were.
Yeah, my last flight.
Oh, this was your last flight.
Yeah, my last flight. One of my last flight. That was to. I think it's to Zurich or to Frankfurt, and there was a crew bunk, so I decided to take a pictures for members.
Right. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, interestingly, we didn't meet in the airline, even though we both flew for years. And we met at personal development training in Singapore, and there were 600 over of us.
Yeah.
And we happened to be in the same breakout room, and we had to perform on stage.
Yeah. And you're the most gorgeous one. It's very hard to miss you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I accept that blessing. Thank you so much. Yeah, so after I came down from stage doing my piece of presentation, this tall, young, charming gentleman walked towards me and gave me a very, very encouraging remark, compliment, saying that, hey, good show. Hi, my name is Steve. What is your name? By the way, are you a crew or ex-crew? And I was amazed. What was the prominent trademark that you picked up?
The makeup lah, the hair, the aura, all these things cannot run away one. Somehow you have it means you have it, right? Yeah.
Okay, so what brought you to being a flight attendant? You're Malaysian. You were born in Malacca. Okay, so what brought you to flying with Singapore Airlines in Singapore?
Yeah, in fact, I went to Singapore to I did my university. I graduated in Singapore from National University of Singapore, and I kind of that time I kind of saved a bit of money to do my around the world tour. So I went for my trip after I graduated to Canada actually, and I met a friend because I took Cathay Pacific. I met a friend and kind of chit chat. And I asked the friend of mine. I say, how come you graduate from Hong Kong U and you become a flight attendant? Because my mom told me flight attendant is like high class waiter, right? So I say, how come you do that? I said, yeah, but you know what? You can see the world. You can still do this, do that. Then it kind of give me a little bit of enlightenment that, hey, you know what? Actually, being a flight attendant give you a lot of opportunities to see the world a little bit, which I do not have in my early days of my life. So I say. Then I told my mom that I say, is it all right if I join the flight attendant? And sometimes life is always full of fate and destiny. The day that I came back to Singapore, the next day where I decided I need to find a job, and there will be a very big, where the recruitment ads, there's a big poster there that say flight attendant recruitment. Everything is just happened for a reason, right? So
exactly.
So I went for the interview, and so many people say that it's tough to get in as a flight attendant, and for me, I think maybe I'm very blessed in many ways. I really try first round and I go all the way to the final, and eventually I become a flight attendant. Yeah.
So you got in on the first attempt.
First attempt, yeah.
Definitely, of
Maybe
course. That goes without saying. I'm sure a lot of airlines are, waiting for you to come in.
maybe they think that I'm too ignorant lah. That's why easy to train.
You know what? I actually got in after my third attempt.
Oh really?
Yeah, my first attempt was Cathay Pacific, but Cathay Pacific rejected me. And then I tried twice with Singapore Airlines.
They don't know what they are missing out, lah.
Oh, thank you. See, Prince of networking. Yeah. All right. So, did you enjoy flying actually?
I did.
Oh, we lost Steve. Okay, let me bring him up again. Like what Steve said. He was living in Singapore already, a student of NUS, and after studying, he is a person who loves people. He's a person who loves people, loves to network, loves to care for people, and that's why he said, "Hey, why don't I join the airline and meet more people, meet people of around the world and be a global citizen, So yeah, and that's why he is always very, very well liked and very likable. He's always a sunshine in the airline because I also, where are you? Okay, let me find you. Steve is back. Steve is back. All right. Yes. Hi, Steve.
Sorry guys, disconnected a little bit because I accidentally touched a button and it just switched off. So you were saying that do I enjoy that?
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
I did.
Yeah,
very much.
I enjoy it. I enjoy going around the world. I enjoy learning a lot of things regarding the appreciations of life, appreciations of things. So all these things I enjoy, but at the same times, I know that I also know that there's so much more that can offer me outside the airline. So therefore, it's like I will feel that I enjoy, but I just feel that I need to learn more things, because somehow in the airlines, a lot of times you feel you have a lot of times in your hand, and find that you just want to fully utilize those time a little bit more.
Right. So what actually triggered you to resign? Because as we all know, flying, especially I knew that flying was very, very comfortable, very rewarding. It was such a rewarding job, right? You are paid to travel. You are like a global citizen, and especially for people like you love to meet people. So getting out of this job is actually very, very, very hard. It's getting out of our comfort zone. So actually, what triggered you that?
Well, I think you're right in terms of we see a lot of things, and somehow I think flight attendants also have kind of craft you into believing that you lead a high lifestyle, but your pocket is not really a very high lifestyle. Yeah, so I think that is one of the crucial part. The second part is I always say this when I give talk is there's one time that I met a first class passenger, and he used MX Black card, which is very exclusive. And I asked him, how can you be so successful in your life and your business? And he said, young man, as long as you're hardworking and you're hardworking and you have determination, you'll be there one day. So the statement of the hardworking and determinations is never an issue. All of us understand that statement is correct. But no matter how hardworking or how determined I am, as a flight attendant, I will never take first class, because it's totally a different stage of life, right? So I told myself the statement is not wrong. Not wrong. The statement is very right, but my environment is very wrong. So I decided that maybe me as Steve Wee, there is more that I can achieve outside flight attendant, because I don't want to be at the end of my life. The only thing that I tell people is my biggest value added to the society is being a most a gorgeous flight attendant in Singapore Airlines.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah. So that is somehow, like during probably a midlife crisis or what. So you have sometimes of realizations on this. Yeah.
Right. So because of that card, that first class from that first class passenger, so that actually triggered you to give you this and giving you this wake up call. I'm sure you had a lot of fear at that time.
I
type that letter and send it in.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm a person who say that as long as someone have it, why can't I have it? So I'm kind of competitive in this point of this from this perspective. When that part of, I always say that courage play a very important role here. Now, whether you take your first step to go to the other side or things like that, sometimes we think too much. So when the moment you think too much, then a lot of times prevent you from moving forward. At that time itself, a lot of people discourage me, especially the crew, discourage me from leaving. But for me I always believe that I would need to hear the advice from someone that have done it before, not someone that have not done it before. So that's why, to me itself, if let's say I choose this route, I bear the full responsibility of what is come from there. Definitely, I think the first couple of years is not that easy, but I find that life is such, right? I think when you are young, you can go through all these obstacles much more than when you're older. Yeah.
But did you know what were you doing? Did you know what you wanted to do?
No.
Did you have a career path then when you wanted to quit or after you quit? What was the plan?
Actually, there's not a lot of plan because that time I also have some jewelry business on the side, and that kind of keep me a little bit of pocket money to strive on. And I always like to do. I always very intrigued with Singapore airline and Singapore girl branding, which means I was wondering how come Singapore girl branding can go so a global branding all the way to different part of the world, and of course Singapore Airlines. So to me, branding, marketing, and media, I always very intrigued in the early stage of my life, and therefore, what I do is I go understudy with an agency. And kind of learn all the tricks about doing marketing, full-fledged agency. And for me, I want to do my best to try my capability of bringing clients. But I always like that. I bring in the clients. I probably don't know how to do it. So I kind of sub it to another person and I learn from their person how to do it.
Wow. Okay. So that was in Singapore or back?
In Singapore, I'm doing that about like 3-4 years in Singapore.
I would say that you are very, very gutsy, to quit not before you had a career path. Yeah, it's a very gutsy step because for me, because I know that guys could actually fly to 60, 65 years old max.
Yes.
But for me, I also quit without a career path. I also quit without a plan. It's because I knew that for ladies, we had to retire at either 45 years old or 25 years of flying. So my lifespan in the airline is actually much shorter than yours.
Yeah.
So you could actually enjoy longer, but you took the leap.
But let me tell you. Let me tell you something. I think one of the reasons also, we have a lot of senior crew in the airline, whether it's a male or female. When I look at them, I feel like I don't want to be at the end of my age. When I grow older, I will look like them. Sometimes, of course, I'm not saying that all of them are negative or positive. There will be a handful, but there are a handful of them. I think majority of them are quite bitter a lot of things, right? And I find that their world is also not that quite small in many perspectives. So I guess, and also I'm very vain. I don't want to be at the age of 50. I'm still serving. I'm not saying I'm not judging the rest of people. I'm just saying about myself. So I feel that there is when I'm still young, I think I need to go and strive and see what is out there. Yeah.
Right. Wow. Well said. So what brought you back to Malaysia, KL in particular?
I think this is also a story that I share a lot in my platform. I say, the reason why I'm back is because of one thing that's called stuck. Like the being stuck is horrible feeling. So after I started my agency and all this, and I still feel that I'm stuck. I'm not moving up. I'm not moving down because I always want to go into many levels up. But when you're stuck, sometimes you cannot explain why are you stuck. There's no way that you can find out. Of course, you can solve that, but you're still stuck. Stuck is stuck, right? So stuck, I always say this is like you move front also cannot, move back also cannot, move left also cannot, move right also cannot. And then therefore, the best way when you are stuck, what you need to do? You pray. And when you pray, there is always a sign. And the sign is always telling you to do something. And the sign is telling me to go back to Malaysia. And of course, I'm also in the verge of going back to Malaysia is because I really miss home much. Secondly, I always don't feel that Singapore is my home after staying there for 18 years. I always feel that there's something that's missing. There's something that, just feel there's something missing, and there's a calling is so strong to go back to Malaysia. And in fact, I go to Malaysia again, I have to start all over again. I also don't know why I take this chance. I feel that in my life, I have two biggest chance taking. That is, one is to leave the airline, and one is to leave back to come back to Malaysia. And both courage, I kind of took it, and I'm blessed in many ways for deciding to take it up on this journey.
You know what? I can totally relate to what you say because we share exactly the same background and also the same, I would say, same path or same, same journey, same cross path, I would say. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. So when you came back, I'm sure there are a lot of naysayers, right? I faced that. I had that. I had a lot of naysayers when I came back, not knowing what business was all about. And I started this business whereby not many people would want to come to. So how did you handle your naysayers?
Sometimes I always say this. I think a lot of people, I feel that they are just concerned. They're concerned about your well-being, whether what is your next plan? Because on us as a humans, we always like to have plan, right? The backup plan, the backup plan, the backup plan. So sometimes life is also trusting the journey and do your best and let God show you the way. So in this case itself, when I'm back, I do not have a lot of friends in Malaysia to begin with, and I think that's why I think it's still okay. But I think the biggest things that I do is I find that since I'm back, I need to get someone to guide me, and therefore I set out my journey to get Datin Milu, which a lot of people know that is my business partner and it's also my mentor and my best friend, to guide me on how to go next into my next path of my journey. So I think that part, I guess, is the number one thing that I've done right the moment I came back to Malaysia. So about naysayer, I think definitely there's a lot of things that is, when I came back, a lot of people say a lot of things like, who is this guy, whether this guy is like a sweet little thing coming back and things like that. But for me, I feel if I'm willing to take up the challenge of doing a lot of big things or coming back and things like that, I don't want to hear all the small little things. And I find that my life doesn't rely on, it's not on the hand of all these people that say this. So I'm not very affected. For me itself, I go into that motto. I feel that we, as a human, we need to lift other people up and not put other people down. So as long as that theory is mine, I only like to hear the good word. Yes, feedback is important, but feedback doesn't come in terms of criticism. Yeah.
Beautifully said. You know what? I also had lots of naysayers, but I took it personally. But I kind of reacted it positively.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thank to all my naysayers that they actually boosted my determination so that I can be the best version I can be and do my best and do whatever it takes. Because let me share you one of these statements that I heard from my naysayers. May I?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I joined Nirvana, because at that time, 12 years ago, the average age, I would say that first thing first, the predominantly are men.
Mm-hmm.
And the average age would be 45 to 50. And at
Mhm.
that time, I was still naive and a sweet young thing, which is still am. Right? Okay, so the senior ones look at me, and they would talk to each other saying that, oh, this dumb blonde in our term. I'm not sure the viewers know what dumb blonde this term means. If you know, please share in the comment. Actually, dumb blonde means beautiful but not so intelligent, or beautiful but not so efficient. In Chinese word, the term may call it 发针花瓶. But maybe I had selective hearing. I choose to hear the first part, but not the second part. No, yeah, beautiful, good looking. So, but then the second part, it actually worked as an engine to push me forward, to really push me and do whatever it takes. Because these naysayers saying that, look at this dumb blonde and see how long she can last. See whether she can survive 2 years. So here I am. Not only I can survive 2 years, this is my 12th year, and not only that, I surpassed all of them.
Should we give a love to our dear Aemy Wong? So come, audience, just give her big love to her, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And also, yeah, very inspiring what Steve actually said. So, well, let's talk about the values and the attitudes you learn from flying. What are the biggest takeaway in terms of values and attitude that you learn from flying, that you're applying in your life now?
I think in the flying days, we learn how to be humble, right? Especially the humility goes a long way. You learn how to be humble. And also being sensitive is also what I learned from the airline, because you must be so sensitive with what your passenger wants, and whether, like sometimes in the trick of eyes, that they want water, or they want food, or they want anything. I think that's what we train ourselves to become, And I think the airline also share with me how big the world is in global perspective, right? I don't think there is any other job that can let you have an opportunity to see so much of the world. We can always say that you save money to see the world, but 1 year you can go how many countries, and each time can you go for how long? We almost have a chance to go again and again and again and again to see different parts of that country itself. I feel this part of 8.5 years to 9 years enriched me in many ways. There's one thing also I like to bring it up, because we also meet different kinds of leader in the airline. Okay, there are two kind of leaders in the airline. One is lead by example. Okay, now another one is lead by their status, which means because of their rank, they demand the respect. Another is earn the respect. I think this experience taught me about what kind of leader I want to be. Whether I want to be earn my leadership through respect or demand it. And these are the things that I see, because at the end of the day, I see a lot of those leaders that is demand the respect. When they retire, they actually do not have a lot of friends also. So I think this is there's quite a big learning experience I learned in terms of leadership in the airline.
Awesome. Yeah, there are leaders that we can learn from in the airline, and there are also leaders that we can actually stay away from, so to speak. Yeah, I think for me, the best values and attitude, very similar to yours, is leadership. It really taught me how to be a leader now in the community, or in the company that we are in. Yeah, and one thing that for the viewers to know, seniority conscious is really a big thing in the airline.
Yeah. I think it's still big things during our time. At this I heard from some of the some of my friends we are still in the airline. I think nowadays they kind of like do not practice that much already. But I feel somehow the seniority helps because what we call that, there's also a big respect in that sense, right? Because seniority may not be a bad thing, but without the senior guiding you, how will you know what is going on? I appreciate all the things that I know from the effort of the senior guiding you. So that's what we call it pay it forward. That's why I can keep it from generation after generation after generations. I appreciate that. Though that sometimes it will comes into a little bit of, we will probably see as bullying, but I don't see that. I feel like maybe it's a culture. And as long as the culture is beneficial, I think it's a good way to go about doing it.
Yes. Some people they just abuse their power, but it's also because we experienced it before. We learn from them as to not to be this kind of leader they are.
True.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
but it's only a handful, It's like handful. It's a handful of people that's not good.
do you remember the worst one that you had?
The worst one I have, I had a flight to London, Singapore, London. We are not allowed to sit.
So you literally walked to London?
Walk. We can't even sit during the lull period. We have to walk all the way from Singapore to London, beside the 3 hours of rest. The rest of the time, we are not allowed to sit.
Oh no!
Can you believe that? Oh, I cannot believe that.
Oh no! I walked to Sydney before.
Yeah.
I walked to Sydney before.
London is 13 hours, right? And
sometimes 14.
Yeah, so I find that this, I feel it's like, as much as we always think that we do work for passenger or for the company, the welfare of the crew is also needed to taken care. For me, I always feel as long as the job is done, everyone needed to be taken care of.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So this is also my biggest takeaway from the airline, that we have to take care of our team, because as you know, how my team works, because we are all partners, we are all business partners. We don't pay each other. I don't pay them. So what makes them stay? Because there's no money issue in between us. So it's all about authenticity. It's all about kindness. It's all about treating each other like how we ourselves want to be treated.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the best learning experience from your flying, and now that you're applying it in your business?
I think in this part itself, the biggest learning experience from their flying, I think there's too many. For me, I feel that
maybe 2 seconds for you to think before you continue. We will encourage our viewers to ask us questions. Ask Steve questions. Steve is a very, very experienced in networking. She's an expert in networking and also in branding, be it personal branding and also corporate branding. So please post questions to him. And also, some of you who are so-called curious about a life as a flight attendant, because lately there are people asking me about life as a flight attendant. Ever since we posted up this poster of our video that we are doing now. So there are people already asking me, the lifestyle as a flight attendant. So do post questions. So yeah, Steve.
So I think if you want to say that what is the biggest learning experience, I think is I think I can safely say in terms of the well-being, in terms of my my grooming, and in terms of my expectation of doing things correctly and doing things right 100%. I think those things kind of help me a lot, because the way I carry myself kind of helped me in the business world now. And most people like to see refined gentlemen, and with that refined itself, and with enough wisdom in your head, and the way you converse yourself, the way you can connect with other people, I think that one is becoming one of the advantage in terms of in the business world, because most people are still finding difficulty in terms of connecting with others. So that part, I feel I learned a lot from the airline. I feel very comfortable with all walks of life. Even now, as a High Fly Asia, I connected to different nationality from different countries. I have no problem on that at all. And therefore, I feel that that part is kind of becoming a advantage to me, connectivity with other people, and people feel that like Steve Wee can be a classy and also well groomed in his own way. Yeah.
Oh, beautifully said.
Mm.
And we have a question here by Bilal.
Yeah.
Hi, Steve. How important it is self-branding for an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
So what would you say, Steve?
So Bilal, I mean, on this part itself, I think you brought these questions just on the verge of me writing a posting regarding this, because like last week, I actually saw someone sharing about that. Is it personal branding important? Now, let me tell you something is personal branding is very important, even though there is a long-term way of there's a short-term way and also the long-term way of doing. Why I say it's important now, let me tell you, is because of the COVID-19, everyone is moving into online. So when everyone is moving into online, which means everyone starts selling online, everyone starts sharing online, everyone starts to push their products online. Now, everything that you buy online, there is also something called background check, which means you background check whether this person is credible, or this person is genuine, or this person is congruent or not. So just a click away, you find out, you go into their personal social media and you find that, oh, their online personal branding is almost non-existent, or maybe it doesn't gel into the way that in the business way, in the business part, how they seem they are. So there is always not congruence in terms of that, and therefore, if you are not congruent, there is something called mistrust will happen. I would answer this question: self-branding is more important now, especially if you want to go online. Mm-hmm. So maybe focus on your online personal branding more than any other when the outside personal branding, because the online personal branding help people to see whether you are aligned with what you do in your business or not. Just like Amy, you say you are promoting about Nirvana. Now, when I go to your Facebook, there's nothing mentioned about Nirvana. There's nothing mentioned about leadership. There's nothing about. So therefore, I will feel that how come Amy, when I'm sharing this Facebook Live, wow, like macam yes like that. But the moment that I go and do a background check, that you're, so there will be a bit of mistrust there. So I will answer that question. Online self-branding is very important if you want to go online. And online is very important for your business, because why? It's going to be the way of life after COVID-19.
Yeah, especially like screening a person now, it's so easy.
Yes.
It's just a click of a button.
Yes.
Yeah, so this has to be really focused on. Exactly. And Billa, so we hope that Steve has answered your question. Well, I learned something too. And Lai has a question. Lai says, Amy and Steve, do you miss your life as flight attendant, and what were your biggest challenge?
You want to answer first?
You want to take it first, Steve?
Okay. So do I miss it? I don't miss it at all, because at High Fly Asia, I think before COVID-19, I have a chance to travel around the world also. So I'm still traveling a lot, if not for the COVID-19. And I love flying. I love hotels. I love all these things. And what was my biggest challenges when I leave the airline? I would safely say I do not have enough wisdom for the current world, because my wisdom from the flight attendant days is not sufficient for me to work on into my current life. Therefore, I have to put in a lot of wisdom into my head, and in order to do this, to go from milestone after milestone. I find that my biggest challenges is how much wisdom can I acquire in order to go through obstacles in life, especially like this COVID-19 is considered another challenges that I'm very happy to go through it, but what kind of wisdom I need to have in order to go through it. So I feel acquiring wisdom is the biggest challenge here. How fast you're able to do that.
Well,
Amy?
you actually answered you answered for me also. But the difference is, I really love flying. Not only I miss flying the shopping part or the hotel part, but I actually do miss serving on board. I actually do miss my passengers on board. I actually do miss interacting with them. I don't know. Does it sound crazy to you?
Maybe we are different because, like, for the guys, we are usually on the galley. We don't really a passenger. Not so much on the passenger serving passenger. We are preparing the meal and all these things. So I'm not too sure about that. But I do understand about you because sometimes when you love something, it becomes where you grow to like it so much already, and it becomes a part of you. Yeah.
Yeah, because I really love interacting with people, and I learn so much just by talking, chatting with my passengers about their country, their cultures, their race, their cuisine, everything, so actually I miss flying so much because I learned so much. It's just like a global citizen. We can actually know so much about different countries, different cultures, different cuisine. We learn so much about cuisine, everything. So I miss that.
I think on this part itself also, I think we have to be mindful that we were crew in the early days. Somehow I've talked to some of my friends. We are still on the flying. Their workload is so much and their passenger load is so much that
and shorter stay, right, nowadays.
Shorter stay, and I'm not too sure whether do they have the luxury of time to be doing all this. But I have to say that I think in our time we do have the bit of luxury of times to be doing a little bit of engagements with the passenger. But now I think with the workload and things like that, I'm not too sure does it apply. So we have to say it's from our perspective during our time.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, we have another question. Wai Ying says, what is your greatest achievement so far?
A lot.
A lot, yeah. I would say
a lot, yeah.
A lot of things are going through my mind now. Also, a lot. Also because we are very grateful in everything. So, yeah. So list down. The list goes on.
So, like, maybe if I want to summarize it, I think the greatest achievement I have so far, I would say, is my mindset. Because I think the mindset has to be right in the first place. Because the mindset is already right in terms of overcoming a lot of things. So anything that's obstacle or anything is difficult, it's not a difficulty. It's part and parcel of the journey, right? Because if without the obstacles, you will not have the learning experience. But the mindset is also the hardest for you to overcome it because the mindset needs a lot of assurance and a lot of approval, a lot of testimonial to make sure that you're on the right track. So that's why when you start sharing with somebody new things, they will ask you, what am I going to expect? You cannot expect it because you're not there yet. You only need to go through the process and have it. That's why, like, this period, when I say that during this MCO is the biggest window of opportunity for you to go online and brand yourself online and things like that. Most people are still don't want to do it. I feel that part itself, I feel they are taking their own sweet time to do it, but it's okay. I don't judge. But at the end of the day, first mover advantage, eventually you need to do it, but how soon you go and do it. So if you try to overcome it as soon as possible, you get the market share as fast as possible and you become the first mover advantage.
Wow, very good. Wow. Well, for me, my biggest achievement, I would say that I gain vast people's handling skill. Yeah, this is what my biggest takeaway from the airline. Handling people, handling even the most difficult people, and also we know how to deal with people because as for viewers to know, we flight attendants, we go to work every flight with different people. With different people. So you have different superiors every flight, different subordinates if you are a leader, Okay, so how, especially when you're new, you're still junior, how are you going to cope with different superiors, different leaders on different flight? Because different leaders have different style, different pace. So in years of flying, I learned how to pick up a person's behavior very quickly and how to handle them, and also handling difficult passengers.
I think you always have to change your again, it's also got to do with mindset, because sometimes people are becoming very stubborn. Stubborn in what way? Is like when you are dealing with somebody, because it's a human character that you want people to go along your way, not you go along their way. To me, always like that. If you need someone help, and this person is more senior, or this person is your leader or your what, I feel that you also have to adjust things to go into moving things onto their way, right? So I think that part itself a bit more flexible. You're able to connect with others a little bit more. Why don't you think so? Because like yourself, you are the host of here. I have to do my best to go according to how you want to craft the whole interview. Now, of course, I also have my own show. But if let's say I push my value into here, then I'm going against you. So I feel all these things is respect has to be mutual from both sides, and don't be so too stubborn to do it in such a way that please understand me, or no need to do that, because I feel that we try to understand everybody, but as long as this person you need their help, you try to embrace according to their opinion and their perspective.
Well said, well said. Well, we'll talk about online branding, because you mentioned online branding is so crucial right now.
Correct.
So, and a lot of people now still are not aware, and also because they don't have the awareness, that is why they do not have the urgency yet. So I know that you have something in line in your pipeline, to create awareness and also to create urgency, to tell them that how important it is to do online branding. So what is it, Steve? Because we said that I know that you have something for our audience today.
Yeah, you see, because now because of the MCO, I think everyone know the importance of going online. But I feel that everyone going online without proper focus and objective, right? And you can see most people will start doing Facebook Live, Facebook thing, going to comment. Suddenly, you see when you scroll through the social media, you see everyone is a good chef. Everyone is suddenly become very fitness enthusiastic. Everyone becomes a TikTok influencer. Now, I'm not too sure whether that kind of branding is the branding that you really want or not. But let me tell you, it's like for me, when I'm in social media, or when I decided to do this Facebook Live, heavily is also to push my business, because my personal thing, I feel that I don't need to announce it to the whole world. So I'm very objective driven. But at the same time, you must be focused. What are you pushing it to the audience? That pushed me into sharing my online personal branding strategy webinar, which I host it, and then I share it, how important it is, and how you're going to craft it, what kind of keywords that you're able to do it. And that part itself, I will be sharing more in depth. It's a 90 minutes of webinar. Now, if you are interested to find out more, I guess I think we can gas the audience. If you want it, then you can just say I want. Is that
Yes.
Is that what the? So you just say I want, and my team will be sharing with you the link to that. Just say that I want to join. It's on the Thursday, 8 p.m. If you want it, you just type I want, and my team will be more than happy to give you the link so that you can actually sign up for this webinar. I'm going to share that online personal branding is going to be a way of life. If you're just pushing your products online, let me tell you, they will go and do background check. If your online personal branding is not strong enough, there will be a mistrust. The sales will be gone. A lot of people start saying, "Oh, just do a good service, just do a good packaging, good follow up, good all these things." You think you are the only one who's doing the good service, good follow up? I tell you, everyone is doing the same thing. Frankly speaking, like Aemy Wong, Aemy Wong is doing all these Facebook Live and all these things, then definitely she is more advantaged than the rest of Nirvana agent out there. So in this case itself, don't you think that that is so important? You think Aemy Wong doing all this for fun, right? It's not value added. Of course, while value added, also value added to herself. So it's a win-win situation here, right? So if you like it, if you want to join my webinar, can you just put I want, and I'm more than happy to follow up with you and give you the link to my webinar.
Thank you so much. Well, exactly, because I myself have attended Steve's class, and it was so value adding. And those of you who are still not so sure what branding is all about, branding is very important. I guess branding, well, there's still a lot of people not knowing what branding is all about. Do you agree, Steve?
See, they on one part of it, I just want to say summarize it. It's like this. You know, like, because a lot of people are on social media, then they just don't craft their content without thinking, without being sensitive, without thinking too much. They just say what they feel like saying, and that is where one of the online personal branding strategy is sensitivity. You know why? Because a lot of people when they say something then they make certain people angry, or certain people misread their meaning. Then they will say, "Ah, yeah, I don't mean it." I think a lot of times we don't mean a lot of things, but we can have actually solved it by being sensitive. And being sensitive is already one part of the online personal branding. It means how do you craft your content without making people misread your intention? Don't you think this is very important? Now you
very important, and a lot of people, I think a lot of people neglect that.
Super neglect, and then and you know what their excuse is? Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean it. But it's already been done. Like, you look at the current incident is VV Yusof. VV Yusof shared something about the government support to the entrepreneur. Now she never say that she don't support B40, but it's being tweaked in another way that harm her branding, and everyone is start saying bad things about her just because of posting. Maybe if she could be a little bit more careful. Other than that, you know, it can destroy you as much as can help you.
Right. Well, this is very valuable. This is very valuable that a lot of people who neglect this and do not aware that how important this is. Well, do you what do you say? Do all people in all areas need branding?
I will find that as long as you want to get people to trust you, as long as you need to sell yourself or sell your product, or you want to get leads online, you need to do this, right? If you are just a housewife or whatever things, don't bother. As long as it's got business related, you need to do this. Why? Because it highly jeopardizes that part of people trust on you.
Well, this is really good. It's very educational. So guys, please type I1 to get a free webinar on online branding by Steve, right? Steve is an expert in networking and also in branding, right? He is highly experienced in what he does, and I would say that he is the best in what he's doing.
One of the best. Be a bit humble here.
All right, let us do something relaxed and something more fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, please continue. Type in your enthusiasm. Type in I want to get a free webinar on online branding by Steve Wee. All right, please do it right now. And your webinar is on Thursday,
8 p.m.
Thursday, 8 p.m. for 90 minutes, right?
Yep.
Right. And this is a very kind gesture by Steve Wee to Aemy Wong's Buddy Station to add value to people right now, because now we are on movement control order, and we have time to learn. We have time to upgrade ourselves. So why don't we do it, right? Yeah. So now let's do something fun. So, okay, go back to our flying days. Which country which country that you miss the most for sightseeing?
You know, a lot of people ask me the questions, right?
Yeah, I always get that too.
I'm not a big fan of sightseeing person.
Okay.
Number one, because I don't like to take a train or ride to a few hours just to see. Like, you know, when we go to where we go to Amsterdam, we have to take like a 1 hour bus or 2 hour bus to go and see a tulip garden or things like that. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a very city person. But which city I love the best? Italy, I would have to say, because why I like Italy is because like when any part of Italy that you go to, everyone dress up, and you see all the old folks dress up just to have a coffee. I love people that dress up. I love people that is well groomed. I love people that has class. I love people that has the taste in things. So I feel like in Italy, whenever I have a flight to Italy, I will always pack my best my best outfit in my luggage, because I know when in Italy I will go all the way out and dress up.
So what? That's for fashion show parade or what?
I don't care. I just feel the surrounding is kind of like it's so interesting that I might as well do it. So my best overseas country is Italy. But let's say locally, I think Bangkok is my best in terms of the easy access. You know, you almost can get anything from there, whether it's a hotel, cheap traveling, and it's very near, it's very affordable. So Bangkok is my next best in terms of the shorter distance, and Italy is in terms of the far distance. How about you?
For me, I'm kind of different. I love sightseeing. I made a point when I was flying. I made a point every station I go to, I must go for sightseeing. Must.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would actually sacrifice my rest time to go for a tour. And also because I'm not so much of a city girl. I like to see nature. I like to see countryside. I like to see suburbs. Yeah, I like to see tulip gardens. I like to see vineyards. Yeah, I like to see farms, mountains. Yeah, I love all these. So yeah, I love sightseeing so much, and probably as long as not a city place, I would love. Actually, I love I love Europe actually for sightseeing. I love Europe. So what about cuisine? Not talking about cuisine, international cuisine here, but the best cuisine or the best meal you had when you were flying.
I think it's still Italian as well. Yeah, generally because I like Italian food, and of course, I don't know why. Like most of the restaurants in Italy is also owned by Chinese. You probably would not know that it's owned by Chinese until you sit down and the Chinese boss will come out and say, "Hey, so where you from?" and things like that, and you find out that they are Chinese who own the Italian. Because I think the Chinese love to work into F&B environment outside China. So therefore, that is also I get to know a lot of them. And generally, I think Italian, like pasta, tiramisu, pizza, and all these things is quite. You still can do on the daily basis. It's still quite cool to do that, and I kind of like it. Yeah. So Italian food generally, I like it most.
Ah, right. I like Italian food also, but for me, when I was flying, when talk about cuisine, talk about food, I'm kind of a simple girl. I like to go London, so that I can have because London has the best sandwiches and best salad in the world. Have you tried? Yeah, I really love. I'm a sandwich and salad girl.
I like hot food. I'm a Chinape. So I'm a Chinape. I love hot food. So to me, London, everything is cold. I'm not a big fan of it yet.
Yeah, I can have 3 meals on sandwiches and salads and a hot soup if I want to have something.
But to be fair, I think London has the best Marks and Spencer grocery, and you can get cheap strawberries at a very cheap pounds and things like that. Other than that, I'm not a big fan because I love hot food.
Yeah, you like hot stuff. Yeah.
So I think the cold food I can only like 1 meal, 2 meals, but not all the meals here.
Especially dinner, you would like something hot, right? Piping hot.
Yes, I rather eat my cup noodles,
Especially dinner in winter, right? Yeah, I know what you mean. What about culture?
culture-wise,
which culture that actually impressed you most?
I think culture-wise, I think in the Taiwanese culture is quite good. I love the Taiwan culture. The part of like, you're very how to say, you are very kind, very very sociable, and then treat people nice and all these things. So Taiwan generally give me a very good impression in terms of being nice to people, and kindness goes a long way, and I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I like the Japanese culture.
Okay.
Yeah, especially when flight attendants or maybe passengers, if you are a passenger, if you have traveled on Japan flight before, you can actually observe something. They are very polite, and when it comes to luggage spaces, they do not invade other people's space. They are very, very considerate and courteous. Yeah, so I think this is something that many of us need to learn this. They're very considerate and yeah, super polite. Yeah, so the Japanese culture is my favorite. Now, well, we have a few comments already coming in saying I want, and I please continue to type in I want to get a free webinar on online branding by Steve Wee, as online branding now is super essential. So learn from the best, and to be able to be the best, we have to learn from the best. So now, thank you so much, Steve, for your time. Thank you for adding value to our viewers. Thank you. And anything else you want to share with our viewers?
Nothing. And life after Singapore Airlines is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So just if you want to say what is the one greater advice, please hang out with the right people. Please hang out your environment heavily. Decide how are you going to be successful. So your network is your net worth. So your surrounding is very important. Always hang out with people that's better than you, smarter than you, richer than you, or whatever than you. Doesn't matter, because that's the only way you can learn. That's why I hang out with you. Thank you.
That's the reason why I hang out with you. So yeah, please go wherever you go. Just bring me along, okay? I'll tag along with you.
Okay.
All right, that's it for now.
Happy Monday. Bye.
Happy Monday, and see you again, Steve. Thank you so much. See you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, please continue to type I want to get a free webinar online. On online branding by Steve Wee, and the closing will be tomorrow. Your class is on Wednesday, right? Thursday. Okay, so the closing will be on Wednesday 6 p.m. Wednesday 6 p.m. The closing will be on Wednesday 6 p.m. And Steve will send his team to get contact with you and give you the link to get into the free webinar. All right, so long for now.
Bye.
Bye again. See ya.